de bajmoin machsek. Mabawashash inopemad suwingi niashkindatsit, pish me wachkanana bongisit.
So today we're in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, and we're putting on a drone show for the Day of National Truth and Reconciliation. It does involve an Indigenous creation story, and it's really about celebrating Indigenous culture and honoring that culture, where they've come in the past and where they are today. And so we've been hired to help them tell their story. What a drone show entails is it's a number of drones flown in the air, choreographed to make words, images, or animations. It's a very versatile form of entertainment. There's a lot that goes into your average 10-minute show. We have to design a show. So there's a lot of back and forth with the client, seeing what story they want us to tell. So every one of those dots represents a drone. And so as Edwin slides his slider, you can see the image will change. The flag was previously waving, now we've got some text in the air. So this is actually what we call the show file or the show path file. And so you can actually basically do a dry run of a show. You know, we don't want to ever have our drones moving from one side of the show to the other and back, using up all their battery power, flying too fast, flying too high, flying too low. And eventually they decide that this is the show they want, and then it's up to us to get on site and make it happen. So we've got 200 drones tonight, and we set them out in a grid ready for takeoff. And what we in effect do is we essentially create a Wi-Fi network on every drone site. So you can see that we've got a few antennas placed around the site. So every drone has a unique IP address, a unique identifier, which allows us to see it on the screen. So the first thing we do is when we get on site is we set up our ground control station, our base camp. This is where everything is run from. And so from these laptops, that's how we control the show. And then as well, we can actually see what the drones are doing on screen because they're communicating in real time with our ground control station. Where these drones are different than, for example, a racing drone, there's no camera on it because it's not needed for a drone show. These drones are purely made for shows. They're pretty light, they cut down a lot of weight they don't need. There's no payload other than really the battery itself. There's a very bright LED light on the bottom, and that's actually what lights up, and that's what you see as you watch the show. So every drone is almost like a pixel. So we have 200 drones today, we've got 200 pixels in the sky, which allows us to provide a certain level of detail for the show. So if we were to fly one of these drones by itself now and have it go through the show, it's not going to look like anything impressive on its own. It's where you have its other 198 buddies in the sky. That's how the show is made. In terms of us being ready to fly, there are some pre-flight checks we need to do, and it's really just, again, about establishing that connectivity to the network, making sure the drones are communicating with us. The ground control station can communicate with the drones. We're going to download the flight path to each drone, and once we do that, it's pretty much just wait until showtime. Once the drones take off, they're kind of on their own, but not really. And while they're in the air, it might look like they're getting really close. In effect, there are meters between each drone. That's why we like to get the crowd nice and far away, because the show is so big in the sky. So what's going through my mind is that, obviously, that the drones are doing what they should, we don't lose them off the network, and that the show looks good. Listen to the crowd, you can hear them cheering and applauding, and with each scene change, you can tell that they're into it just based on how loud they get. We're quite honored to be here and be part of this event, and I think it'll be very meaningful for the community. And if we've done our due diligence, they land almost exactly back in that grid.